Hello there, Poke people. How you guys doing today? This is Ryan here, and I am excited to be introducing to you today the Red Conference from the PCL. Now, for those of you who do not know what the PCL is, it is the Pokemon Combined League. And what that is, it is a showdown-based competitive league, much like the GBA or the UCL that you see many other famous YouTubers in. This is basically one a little bit lower of, not necessarily difficulty, but it is a showdown one. It's not on the DS, it's from Showdown. These are some of the best showdown battlers that I could find, along with a good friend of mine who doesn't really battle too much on Showdown, but he's a great DS battler, and so I'm sure he'll do great here too. Also, many other battlers here who are phenomenal, phenomenal people. I battled almost everybody in this league, and I've seen battles from everybody in the league for sure. And everybody here is very smart, very tactical. Some really good teams too. So today I'm introducing to you the Red Conference. There is two conferences. There's the Red, the Blue. There is a 10-game season, and we're excited, and I'm excited to introduce to you the teams and kind of give you my thoughts on the teams too. Something to put out there. This is my opinion. This is my opinion on the teams. This includes people from the league who are watching. And I'm being honest about every single team and every single battler. And for the most part, I have a lot of good things to say. There's not too much negative things that I really can say about most of these battlers because everybody is just phenomenally talented at Pokemon. But that being said, obviously, including myself, there are some things that everybody can work on. There's some things with everybody's team. So this is my opinion, though. So people don't get mad at me for my opinion. This is just purely my opinion. But the teams is the factual part. And that's what this is mostly for. So, first up, let's go ahead and introduce to you the Red Conference. We do have the Breloom, the Jolteons, the Victinis, the Dunsparces, and the Hoopas. And I'm excited. This is my conference. I am from the Las Vegas Jolteons, and I think it's going to be a phenomenal season. But even more importantly than that, I think the Red Conference has a very, very strong set this year, and I think it's going to be really awesome, truthfully. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right on into our first team, the Breloom. So, the Breloom are bringing what started out to look like a huge, humongous threat. Not that it lost any of it towards the end, but it looks very threatening at first sight. So he's bringing Sableye, Heatran, Gyarados, Snorlax, Machamp, Cofagrigus, Cincino, Quagsquire, Jumpluff, Rotom, Frost, Wigglytuff, and Medicham. Now, at first look, the things that really stick out to me is the Sableye, Heatran, and Gyarados. Now, Snorlax can bring a lot of bulk, and Machamp is a decent one, and Cofagrigus can really mess with your team with the ability Mummy, but the Sableye, Heatran, Gyarados is an excellent cover right there. Heatran and Gyarados is great together. Heatran brings you enough bulk, but enough offensive power too, with Lava Plume, or even, Madness Storm, stuff like that. Gyarados, you can go Mega here, he can go not Mega. Either way, it's going to be great. He does, looking at his team, have a really big weakness to fighting. Which, I think he understood that from the beginning. There is a Mega Lopunny in our conference, and, a High Jump Kick can take out majority of his team. But then again, it can take out majority of Pokemon in general. So, but a good way to counter that, you do have Cofagrigus, who, with the ability Mummy, can instantly shut down the ability of any Mon coming at him. So that's kind of nice. But to me, the MVP of his team right now, the thing that I think is going to come out and surprise people, there's two of them really. I think Mega Sableye is just one of the best metagame Pokemon. I think that the ability to Magic Bounce and Prankster is phenomenal. The moves it gets, it has such a wide span. You can use it as a tank, you can use it as an offensive threat, you can use it as a status, or you can use it as a taunt, you can use it, lead. It's so versatile that in this league, it's almost impossible to plan exactly what they're going to be doing. And judging from the Breloom, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something that we haven't even seen before. So I think Sableye is going to be a key part, and I don't foresee him ever not bringing it. The other thing that I think is really going to make the difference is I think Rotom Frost. And I think Rotom Frost is extremely undervalued because it's just a phenomenal Mon. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up some stats here. So right now, its defense and special defense is just like all the other ones, 107. Its special attack is 105. The ability to levitate, and the thing about it is it brings you bulk, but it also brings a strong ice type. And not to mention, the ice electric typing is phenomenal. Once again, though, the weakness to fighting is there, and so is the weakness to ground. But I mean, other than that, it handles flying very well. It handles electric. It handles ice extremely well. And those are big things to have on his team, because what it allows is, for instance, if Gyarados is out there and, for instance, my Jolteon is out there, he can switch into Rotom Frost and probably take a Thunderbolt very, very decently, along with many other mods that he has. But I do think Rotom Frost is going to be one of the keys to him having a lot of success this season, despite the fact that it was a very late pick in the 7th round? Yeah, 7th round, I believe. So, no, actually later than that. But that being said, that's his team, and my prediction for the prelims is I think he's going to have a very successful season. I think at the moment, his team has a couple Pokemon that I'm unsure of how he's going to use them. Jumpluff being one, Quagsquire being another one. I can see Machamp being used, but I think that there are some better options, especially considering that at that moment, that was his 6th pick, or his 5th pick, actually. So I think that'll be interesting, but overall, I think he has a solid team, and I'm going to love to see how it comes together. Up next, we do have the Victinis, who were favored to win it last season and is a strong favorite to win it this season. Now, Adam Victini and Coach Victini of the Minnesota Victinis is just... He knows how to run a team. He knows how to run a team. I think that's one of the better ways to say it. He makes it work. And it's no doubt that he has one of the most threatening megas in this format, and that is Mega Lopunny. A high jump kick or even a fake out, anything like that from a Lopunny can be devastating for any team. Now, it's weak, but it gets that. So here's Victini's team. Lopunny, Scizor, Manaphy, Entei, Galvantula, Rotom Heat, Drapion, Dugtrio, Claydol, Electros, Girder, and Ditto. Now, my week 1 is up against the Victinis, and I've done extensive, looking at his team to try to prepare. But he, to me, is one of the strongest battlers in the league. He's one of my, I think he has one of the best chances to win it, in my opinion. Mega Lopunny and Scizor, along with Manaphy, can be tough to deal with just right there. Manaphy with Tail Glow can start wiping out teams. Scizor already has the bulk and the attack to be able to take something down. We know what Mega Lopunny can do. Anybody who watches any kind of battling at all knows what Mega Lopunny can do. Entei with Sacred Fire can just ruin your team. Galvantula's Sticky Web completely shuts down any team that has speed. Rotom Heat was an iffy decision since he already had Entei, but from what I've heard, that might be the first thing he's dropping in free agency, so we'll see about that. Dugtrio, another decent mon. It's quick, it hits hard. Girder, Guts, phenomenal ones. And finally, then he's also got Ditto, which basically means he can have any mon he wants in a way. And Ditto is a tough mon to take down, especially with the ability to transform. Personally, I like going up against Ditto more than I like going up against Smeargle, but that being said, Ditto's going to be tough. Ditto's going to be tough, especially in this format. So we will see how that one goes. But overall, I think Victini's, in my opinion, looking at the Red Conference, I would say my early prediction would be that they would be in the playoffs for sure. Now, as you know, the playoffs do work like this. It's the top 3 from each conference that get to go through. It'll be a little bit interesting over in the Blue Conference because for this first season, we did have a team drop, so they only have 4 teams and 3 of them are going to make it. So that'll be interesting. But that being said, over here, in the Red Conference, it'll be a little bit tougher to make it in, but the Victinis, I think, in my opinion, are it's just the one team in our conference that I think just automatically, I would say, is going to be in. But with that being said, I'm not interested in the rest of the conference. So that takes us to my team, the Jolteons. The Las Vegas Jolteons. Now, I was very happy with my team, and as I've been going, and using it, I'm even more happy with it than I originally was. So, I am rocking out with Weavile, Charizard, Azumarill, Hydreigon, Nidoking, Jolteon, Virizion, Hitmonlee, Meowstic, Regirock, Trevenant, and Mesprit. I love my team. And I mean, that's I really do. My originally I was thinking that I was going to do two things. I was at first when I was drafting, I thought I was going to go ahead and do power and then a Sun team with Charizard. Didn't even go for that. I just ultimately decided on picking mons that I love to use. So right now, Weavile, Charizard, Azumarill, and Hydreigon, Nidoking, and Jolteon. Those are my first six picks. And Jolteon, as you know, my mascot, my favorite Pokemon of all time. I love it. I love it so much. That being said, though, Weavile right now is a powerful, powerful mod. It takes down a lot of things in my conference. It handles so many different things. Whether you're running it with Band or Sash or Life Orb or whatever, it does damage. Ice Shard just takes out anything that I need. The Flygon that the Dunsparces have, I can handle that. Thunderous, etc. Tornado, not, yeah, etc. So it works really well. Charizard Y is one of the best megas in the game, in my opinion. With the ability to have Sun, it has access to Solar Beam, Fire Blast, Ancient Power, Protect. I mean, it can do damage. And the nice thing is, if I can, and I do have a way to make it bulky enough to where Roost on it can be an actual good effect. Azumarill, huge power. We know what it can do. Hydreigon, to me, is my favorite offensive dragon. Now, Dragalge is one of my favorite. Is my favorite dragon Pokemon, but Hydreigon just does damage. Throw a Choice Scarf on there, and it's outspeeding everything. Very little things can take it down. I've seen it take Ice Beams before. I've seen it take Ice Punches. So it can take a hit and then also redo it back. And Draco Meteor is a powerful stab move for it, but don't underestimate its move pool. Jolteon hits hard, etc. And then the rest of my team, the thing I think I like the most about my team is I have a lot of things I can do with my backcourt. I have Virizion, Hitmonlee, Meowstic, Regirock, Trevenant, and Mesprit. All of those mons can bring something. Hitmonlee and Virizion both bring something that I've been severely lacking in any other format I've ever done, and that's a fighting type, a strong fighting type. Virizion also brings me the grass that I'm missing. Trevenant and Mesprit kind of bring me more of that special side that my team very rarely ever has, aside from Hydreigon. But overall, I like my team a lot. I do see myself doing well this season, but I also think that I chose mons that are so widely known that they could be easy to predict. So it'll be tough, but we'll go ahead and see. So with that, let me take you over to the Dunsparces. Now, this is a good friend of mine. His name is Jack. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic battler. One of the best I think I've ever gone up against. He knows how to use low tier Pokemon in just a great and phenomenal way. And the thing about him is he's not too familiar with the showdown format, so that's not where his strengths come in. But where his strength does come in is being able to make the most out of a low situation. In our preseason little tournament thing, he ended up getting second place in it, only behind the Excadrills. But that being said, he has a very good team, which at first it doesn't come off as like a team that's like super threatening, but with the way he's using it, there in the ways that he's used these mons before, I can really foresee him doing some serious damage. And he's another guy that I would honestly maybe just right now give him a bye to the playoffs because I think he's going to do great. But he's rocking it out with Togekiss, Hippowdon, Victini, Swampert, Mandibuzz, Flygon, Banette, Pangoro, Sawsbuck, Furret, Go-Go, and Dedenne. Now, these are a lot of low-tier Pokemon, but at that same time, you know, they're strong. They're strong for the tier that they're in. And, you know, we knew it was going to be interesting when his first round pick ended up going to Togekiss. And people were like, that's BL. I was like, he'll make it work. He'll make it work. But Togekiss, Hippowdon, Victini, I think, is one of the biggest threats. With how wide its move pool is, it can hit super effectively against so many teams. It can wipe out whole teams. Wipe out whole teams. Throw that in there with Flygon, you got a lot of power going on. And Flygon pretty much covers everything that Victini doesn't. Sawsbuck, I know he's got a really cool way of using Sawsbuck. Goat is a phenomenal pick with a bulk up. You know, it handles things so well. I used it last season, and it took an Ice Beam from a... I'm sorry, no, it took a Blizzard from a special... or from a Specs Porygon Z. After Stealth Rock damage and after psychic damage. So it can take it. Gogo can take hits, and Dedenne, many people when we were originally doing the draft laughed at this Mon. It was like, haha, Dedenne, blah blah blah. MVP right there. MVP. I'm predicting it, but I think he's a great battler, and I think he's gonna have a ton of success this season, and I do foresee him making the playoffs. So that leads us to our last team in my conference, and that is the Hoopas. This man has stuck through it all, and throughout all 3 times we've had to do a draft, he's taken Volcarona each time as his first pick. I have not personally gotten to see him use Volcarona, but I'm excited for it. So he's rocking it out with Volcarona, Altaria, Donphan, Cresselia, Sharpedo, Rhyperior, Mantine, Uxie, Cacturn, Sigilyph, and Archeops. I think what his team brings that's kind of different from the rest is he didn't necessarily choose Mons that go well together. He just chose Mons that can kick complete ass on their own terms. Volcarona, Quiver Dance, Altaria, bulky yet hits hard, Donphan, Rapid Spinner, Cresselia, we know how bulky this thing can be. Not to mention Psychic. Sharpedo kills everything. Rhyperior kills everything. Mantine handles a lot of different stuff. Uxie takes a lot of hits but also can dish them back out. Cacturn, Spiky Shield, it's ridiculous. Sigilyph, huge statuser, not to mention great typing. Archeops hits everything so hard. He's got all the sets on his team to make it work. My only thing that I'm going to challenge him to do is to make them work. I think he's going to have a hard time piecing stuff together, but from what I've seen from him, he understands how Pokemon works, and I think he's going to do really well. To me, his MVP completely relies on how he decides to use his Mega. There are some weeks where I think Mega Altaria is going to be his way to go. The bulk that it brings, the typing that it brings, pixelate, etc., it's going to be huge. But I also think that there's some weeks where Mega Sharpedo has to be there and has to come through. I think that the dark and water mix right there is just, it's too powerful to not use, especially against some of the teams in our conference. Going up against Victini, going up against, Victini especially, he's got to bring Mega Sharpedo against them. Looking at other teams in our conference, looking, at me, I would honestly say, once again, Mega Sharpedo to take down Charizard Y, to handle Azumarill. I think that's a good choice. And even looking more on, the Breloom's, bring in Heatran. I think you're going to see Sharpedo used more than Altaria, but Altaria's got to be there. That the ability of having both Fairy and Dragon typing is something that you just cannot pass up. And I think that's going to be huge. But the cool thing about it is he can bring both of them and wait to Mega Evolve, if at all, Altaria. And then if he doesn't, boom, out comes Mega Sharpedo, and it can do a lot of damage. So that right there, people, is the Hoopas, and that will also lead us to end our video on the Red Conference. But by the way, with the Hoopas, I think they're going to finish strong, but to me, the thing that really is going to bring him out is how well he can use that team. So there is the Red Conference, guys. I hope you guys are pumped up. Don't forget to show your support for the team that you are supporting by putting in the comment section hashtag Brelooms, Jolteons, Victinis, Dunsparces, or Hoopas. It's a big deal. Get their names out there. Get everybody's names out there. Get a ton of hype about the PCL. It's going to be huge. It's going to be great. Make sure you show your support. Please hit that like button and subscribe. Don't forget, go check out the Blue Conference. A lot of powerhouse over there. And also, pretty soon coming up, there's going to be a cool little challenge, as many of you have probably already seen, called the Elitist Challenge that I'm doing. Make sure you check that out too. Leave your support on everything. It means so much to me and to everybody else in the conferences and everybody else in the league. Hit that like button, subscribe, show your support in the comments section, and as always, keep it classy. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later.